Here's some of the test equipment I bought at that auction in Albuquerque about a month ago. We're going to go ahead and turn them on and see if they work today. On the top, I have a BK Precision GPIB programmable DC power supply. And underneath it is a Kepco 2000 volt power supply at 100 milliamps. Underneath that is two 5.5 digit HP digital multimeters, also GPIB programmable. And at the bottom, we have a Fluke, another high voltage power supply. It's 3000 volts. And the bottom one is a DC power supply from HP. I have the Fluke 415 high voltage power supply on the bench. Got it connected up here. And what I did notice about it was the output voltmeter is not functional. Maybe be able to take that apart and kind of do a little maintenance on that. I did pull the top off and I found that tube over here. It wasn't actually a tube, it was actually a relay. And I put it back in this location right here. I did get out my light bulb short tester I use for tube amplifiers. Ran it through that and the light bulb did not light up, so there's no shorts in here. And I found a B and C to banana jack, and I got that wired up to a handheld voltmeter that is battery powered with no ground reference, and it's not really something I care about, so if I blow it up it's going to be fine. Well, let's turn it on and see if it works. Let's turn all the knobs down here. All the knobs are at 0. Alright, here we go. No voltage change up there. So let's click this on. Nothing. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, turn the high voltage off. Oh, something happened here. This wasn't on before. Stand. May have to read the manual. Maybe you have to click it in standby. Alright, let's try it again. Uh-oh, something's come to life. High voltage light's on now. Well, we don't have any voltage out here. Let's turn on the 1 volt knob. Uh-oh, something happened. 0.966 volts. Alright, well, that's great. That's great news. 1 volt knob works. Let's try the 10 volt knob. So we should be at 11. Ah, yes. Perfect. 10.95. Let's try the 100 volt knob. 111.5. Oh, that's so far so good. All 3 of these knobs seem to be working. I'm kind of scared to turn on this last one. I'm going to go from 100 volts to 611 volts with 1 volt with 1 knob switch. Uh-oh, here we go. It worked. 611 volts. Let's go up to 800 volts. 800 volts. Ooh, getting kind of nervous. All right, let's go back down to 500 volts. We're actually at 511 is what we should be at. Oh, right on the money. Okay. Well, click up 1,000 volts. We should be at 1,010 volts. 1,011 volts. Wow. And my meter started beeping to let me know that you're working with some high voltage now, boy. Now, I bought this thing to do voltmeter design up to 1,500 volts DC, so we're going to have to see if we can get up there. So I'm going to click this guy up, 100 volts at a time. So we should be at 1,510 volts. On the money. Oh yeah. Well, I'm not going to go any higher than this because this is where I need to stop. Let's turn this off before we get too far. Okay, went back to standby. That's good. Our output voltage is now back down to where it was, which is next to 0. I would say that our Fluke 415 is ready for service. Get another voltmeter here. We'll be good to go. Here are the 2 HP 3456 multimeters that I bought. I got them plugged in. Let's turn them on and see if they work. Well, that's a good sign. It's address 0. This guy, oh, they're both on. Nice. Let me get some wires over here. We'll connect it up to a power supply. See what we get. All right. Of course, I don't have my wires ready, so bear with me a minute. Sorry about the jumpy video. Here we go. So I'm running up here into a power supply. I just turn it on. Looks like it's 12.61. So we'll come down here and connect this guy up. Bottom one. It's kind of nice. I think these two were sisters because here's the bottom one. Here's the top one. Oh, 12.39. Excellent. All right. It's good news. Let's connect with the top one. $12.539. Excellent. Looks like these old babies are ready to go back in the test rack. Here's the next piece of test equipment. It's a BK Precision 1770 programmable DC power supply. Oh, great. Looks like it powers up. Off and off. All right, over here, how do we turn this thing? Let's turn my meter on over here. Output on and off. Oh, cool. This thing is set at 48 millivolts, and this one over here is reading 40, so we have a little bit of a discrepancy, but let's see if I can set the voltage VSet. Set it to 1.23, enter. Oh, nice. So that one's reading 1.228. This one's reading 1.216. Well, we got a little calibration issue, but that's great. So it looks like this is functional. We are also going to use this thing for calibration of the SolOhm multimeter. Here's another piece of test equipment that I bought. It is an HP 6622A. It's a system power supply. That means you got to control it externally. I think it was mislisted in the auction notes because I didn't read it as a dual output, but it actually is. Doesn't have any front panel connections on it, just all in the back. So you got to come back here and wire things up externally in the back. And it's not very, these aren't convenient, but it's designed to go in a rack and be used for test equipment racks. So I didn't know much about this guy. I went online and I found over at Keysight this thing. It goes 0 to 50 volts. What does it say down here? 0 to 50 volts at 2 amps and 0 to 20 at 4 amps. And it's got some crazy accuracy specs on the voltage and the current, as well as the ripple. 500 microvolts ripple. That's awesome. What I was surprised at was this number over here. If you wanted to buy it new, it's $10,415. Well, that's if you wanted to buy it new. I don't know how, and I have no idea how old this is, but I did look at eBay. So a bunch of these on eBay, and they kind of range right around $500. I know that at the auction I ended up getting this guy for about $120. So let's turn it on and see if it works. Oh, it's a jet airliner firing up here. So it's got output 1 and output 2 here, and I guess over here you can do output select. So let's I'm on number 2 in the back, so we'll get on number 2. If you come over here, so I'm out on output number 2, so these buttons will probably do number 2. So I'm going to do voltage, it says V2 there. I'm going to do 1.25 volts. Oh, something changed over here. 1.245. Well, that's awesome. So output number 2 is working. Let's kick it up to 50 volts here. V set at 50.75. No, didn't like that. V set 50 volts. Oh, we're at 50 volts here, and this one is reading 50 volts out. Okay, well, output number 2 is working. This is yet another piece of test equipment I'm going to use for the SolOhm multimeter calibration. Here's the last piece of equipment we're looking at today. It is a Kepco high voltage power supply. Its model number is BHK 2000-01M, and it goes 0 to 2000 volts up to 100 milliamps. I'm actually pretty scared of this one. You might ask why. The other one went to 3000 volts. Well, it's actually kind of a beast back here. It's got all these pass tubes. I think there's 60, 80 tubes, and these are the voltage regulator. So I've got the couple probes kind of rigged in here next to my meter, and I did go ahead and do a test with my my short tester with my bulb, and it lit up really bright, but then eventually it kind of calmed down a little bit. So I think the needed to energize the core of the main power transformer. Once I did, then the light bulb kind of just faded out. Turn this guy on. Let it sit there a little while. I don't know if those tubes got to get warmed up a little bit, so we'll give it about 20 seconds. You notice that this isn't quite like the Fluke. It's got this is a wire wound, looks like a 10-turn pot. And then here's our voltage selector. This one, in addition, has the voltmeter is not functional as well. That's unfortunate. All right, let's go. Turn it on. Oh, the light's dimmed in the room here. And we're getting out 14 volts. So I'll go ahead and turn it up a little bit here. Oh man, it's working. Let's go ahead and go up the full range here. It should go up to 200 volts on this scale. Looks like it might get there. And we're at 200 volts. Okay. Bueno. Let's turn this back down again. We'll click the voltage scale up a tick. And we'll go to 200 to 400. And we're at 177. And that still works. Getting nervous here. Now I'm on 400 to 600, and I got 311 volts over there. 600 to 800 volts. I'm at, let me turn this voltage up a little bit. There's 600 volts. We'll click it up to 1000. 1,000 volts. Oh wait, we've got to click at the 800. And we go to 800 over there. Getting scary now because there's 800 volts on these wires. And my meter starts, oh, my meter beeps when it gets above 1,000 volts. Isn't that nice? Look at that. 994, no beep. Wow, look there. They're safety minded as well. All right, here's 1,200 volts. Ooh, that's nice. And let's go ahead and crank it up to 1,500 volts, which is where we want the SolOhm multimeter to top out at. And we're at 1,500 volts. Excellent. This wraps it up. I think I got this. This is the meter that I actually saw at a surplus yard in Albuquerque. Let me turn this off for a minute. I saw this at a surplus store down there for $300, and they would not be talked down because it was a high voltage guy. And I know that I bought this at that auction for $30. There's nothing wrong with this thing, as I can see. Well, as you can see, other than the voltmeter here is kind of broke. So it looks like I'm going to have to learn about how to do repair on these voltmeters and hope that I can get that guy working. Let's turn the high voltage off while I'm yapping. I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.